All right, hey guys, I'm here with Micah, owner, designer of the Floating Leaf in Bali, for another traveler interview. And special treat, he's one of us. He's from Cleveland. So thanks, man.
Represent,
Appreciate
indeed.
it.
For the street.
So how do you end up in Bali from Cleveland
Doesn't everybody? Yeah. I just love to travel. Being a kid, both of my grandparents went in the military and came back with all these Buddhas and different things, and they always captivated me. So ever since I was a little boy, and when I would go to their house, that was the first thing I would do is go see their artifacts that they brought back from Asia. So I had the travel bug early. Once I graduated high school from Cleveland, I kind of set out and tried to see as much of the world as I could while still getting an education and balance that and jobs and whatnot. But try not to be a tourist as much as a traveler, somebody who can really more experience and appreciate the cultures where I was. So I like to try to get employment there or study there so that I could learn different places in the world. So after traveling all over, I kind of for a long time thought that India might be the place for me, but the more I kept coming back and back to Bali, I never wanted to repeat anywhere. I wanted to see all new countries, all new places, but for whatever reason I kept ending up back in Bali, and I'm a slow learner, as you've probably found out already, that it took me a while, but coming back and really falling in love with the culture and the people and the artwork and the spirituality that's imbued in every part of the aspect of daily life here in Bali, it really won me over, and I knew that this would be the place for me. Coincidentally, I had met my wife in California, who just happens to be Balinese, and it was a common goal for us to get back here.
Awesome. So before this, you were an art professor?
I was seemingly a past
Yeah.
life now, but yeah, taught at a few schools in the States, a little bit in Italy as well, and yeah, art was one of my early passions, and still love it, and able to still teach. Floating Leaf is really kind of a teaching wellness establishment, so still able to do that a bit, and yeah, I love it.
So being a guy from Cleveland, what have you found to be the biggest culture shock for you living in Bali? Having a business here, having a family here, and basically you're Balinese now.
Yeah, there's no Corky and Lenny's.
Yeah.
That's a big adjustment. Um, I had traveled a lot, and I always try to seek out mind-blowing experiences. I love traveling through Europe. My folks and I lived in Europe for a while. It was great. Artwork's amazing. I loved it, but it's a bit like the States. Here in Asia, you can turn the corner and see something that completely blow your mind, something you never even conceived of. And though that's the kind of experiences that I'd like to try to have. So I kind of seek those out, and Bali has that. You meet some amazing people with some amazing talents, and the transition for me, I think, was a bit easier than some of our guests. Not that it's difficult, but people that haven't traveled extensively may not be used to sounds of the rice paddies, or some of the cremation ceremonies, or some of the more kind of esoteric and mystical aspects of Balinese culture, and to me that's what really interests me, so that's why I've chose to be here.
So what do you think some of the benefits of travel are for Americans or anybody who hasn't left their home country?
Especially speaking to North America and the U.S. specifically, we're pretty set in what we do there and our lives there, and it's a wonderful place. It's a wonderful country, but most of the people that I know in the States don't know who runs even the neighboring countries to us. You know, Canada and Mexico. I think a lot of people would be hard pressed to tell you much about their government and their culture, etc., let alone another continent. And when you're over here and you spend time here, and I was talking to our staff the other day, and they had never heard of the Beatles. I couldn't believe it. And most of them know Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson or something like that, but to see what a lot of the folks in the States get so caught up in is not even a ripple in what goes on over here. There's so much more to the world, and learning about that
Paris Hilton was
your
here
horizons.
about a week ago, and
so
everybody made sure to
through.
tell me, yeah, I wonder why.
Oh, boy. I'm still at a loss as to, I know who she is, but not
Yeah.
why she is.
Yeah, most of us don't know why she is. So, you have a passion for healing and sustainable tourism. Where did that come from, and how does that how has that directed your life path?
Well, believe it or not, Cleveland, back in, it must have been the mid 80s or so, I, for whatever reason, started to get into yoga, into Eastern mysticism and Buddhism and things like that. And at that time, as hard as I looked, you could not find one yoga teacher in Cleveland. Now, I don't know if you can
It's
throw
changed.
a yoga mat without hitting one. Yeah, but, so, yeah, for whatever reason, this started early in me, and just something I always pursued. I certainly wouldn't consider myself a healer, but we've surrounded ourselves with so many wonderful wellness practitioners here in Bali that are Balinese and international as well. And to get back to your question as well about traveling and what can it do for you, traveling and being at a nice hotel poolside with a cocktail is a lovely thing, but we want there to be more than that. We want to help provide the opportunity for profound life change, to give the tools to understand what diet is best for you, what types of yoga might be best for you, what other types of healing. And so we work with a variety of wellness practitioners, each to give individual attention to our guests, to see what one might not catch, what the other might, and to all kind of build on itself to be true holistic healing.
So Float and Leaf is designed to for change, to internal change for guests.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, perfect. So when you say things like detox, what is a detox? Like specifically, what can people expect if they join your detox program here?
Well, that's a real buzzword now. A lot of people tell you there is no such thing as detox, and there's all kinds of theories. And I'm not proclaiming to have any particular correct view of that. I do know eating more healthfully, avoiding things that can do the body harm in the long run will have a more positive effect. So we try to help with our guests to, if it's in the program, to work with a naturopath, a nutritionist, for example, along with others, but to see what kind of foods fit their body type, what you might avoid seasonally, what might work better, what not in the longer term, what might happen. So now you need this type of healing might be beneficial for you, but as you get better, maybe you can add in this or this or this. So it's not about just a week or 3 days or 2 weeks or whatever they might spend with us here. It's about going home. It's about continuing that, giving them the tools and the roadmap to continue that healing. And again, it's from a holistic point of view. So by taking out processed foods, might be a step in the right direction, but isn't going to make you a super healthy person right away. So combining that with maybe meditation or with yoga or with different forms of exercise, a more holistic approach. Maybe there's some spa treatments or Ayurvedic treatments that may benefit them as well. And to give them those tools so that they can continue their practice.
So Bali's a long way away from home for both of us. And unfortunately, a lot of people won't be able to make this trip. So what suggestions would you have for those people who can't make it out of Cleveland, make it out of Austin, make it out of San Francisco, to live a more holistic lifestyle?
Well, first I say get here. I saw a flight the other day from the States for $600 round trip. So, get here if you can. 'Cause it'll benefit you in so many ways. You don't have to come stay with us, obviously, but Bali is so unique and beautiful and wonderful, and the people are so welcoming, and it's a life-changing trip on its own. But if you can't do that, the internet is a wonderful thing. You can find all kinds of information there on both ends of the spectrum. That's you can support your argument for just about anything. The vaccination thing that's going on now in the States is a great example of that, and I've seen compelling arguments on both sides, and it's really difficult to know what's right for you. But so be smart about it. Do your due diligence. Look into what's out there. Find some local practitioners. See what's happening at your local yoga establishment. And all the information is there. And find what works for you. Some people think fasting is great. Some people think that you have to have some food all the time. And we're different people. So what might work for one might not be right for all. Yeah, different strokes, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So let me ask you this: as a Clevelander, what is the one thing that you miss the most about back home?
Stadium mustard's up there. Yeah. Chicken wings are up there. Yeah, Ferraras. It's a great Italian deli. Mainly food. Although I'd be remiss to say, I got good friends. Friends. Yeah,
friends, family. No.
But yeah, no, it's a special place. It's had its hard times. It's had its PR problems, as we talked about yesterday. But there's a lot of great things about Cleveland. Some really world-class things,
man. The Browns.
Every year they suck me in and kick me in the teeth.
Well, man, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Indeed. And it's been a great stay here, and I look forward to coming back and sharing it with my readers.
We hope so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll catch you guys next time. All right, perfect.
Welcome to Floating Leaf. I'm Makaku. I'd like to show you our Turta Empul room. One of our ground floor poolside rooms. This here is your music player. Your iPhone or smartphone fits in there. It's just a piece of bamboo, but it amplifies the sound beautifully. Especially in the round room behind the headboard, really fills the room with sound. It's quite lovely. We made everything redundant with the lighting situation, so you can turn everything on and off here, on that side of the bed, and on that side of the bed. Everything throughout Floating Leaf is made with a cross breeze and through natural cooling processes. The rooms are completely contained, although we do have a beautiful cross ventilation, but we do have air conditioning and a fan, should you like that. In here we provide traditional batik robes. Notice the bamboo hangers. The mirror opens up, we have a lock box in there. There's individual reading lights over the bed. All of the artwork throughout Floating Leaf is for sale and benefits the local artists and communities who made it. For instance, we like to tell the people about who made the piece, why they made it, where they're from, what the piece means, and then everything collected for this piece would then go back to her and her village. We have slippers for our guests there. We have an in-room booklet that details all of our menus for the spa, for the food, for the drink, transportation, excursions, also details the many eco-initiatives taking place at Floating Leaf. Our ground floor rooms come with a tub and a garden bathroom. So all of this, the walls, the floors, the sink, the tub, the floors in there, those are all made from a recycled material. We provide organic, biodegradable toiletries for the guest use. And you can see the garden as well. We provide these reclaimed teak buckets that fill with excess shower water, and then when the staff comes to clean the room, they'll water your garden for you. There's some extra toiletries in here. We provide fresh drinking water, dual voltage outlets. And that is your room at Floating Leaf. Thank you.
Perfect.